everyone, I'm Pratima and this is the new Galaxy Tab S11, Samsung's flagship tablet right now, alongside the monstrous Tab S11 Ultra. So if you're in the market for a premium tablet, the Tab S11 Duo looks quite impressive from its spec sheet. But my only problem is Samsung does not have any competition in the flagship Android tablet space, not even one. I know the competition has been absolutely heating up in the mid-range segment lately, but unfortunately, Samsung is still enjoying its monopoly in the premium arena. Which begs the question, should I buy the Tab S11 because there is no other option, or should I buy it because it's actually a good device? Well, don't worry, that's exactly where I can help, since I have been using the Tab S11 for a couple of weeks now, and in this video I am going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, everything you need to know before spending 75,000 rupees on the Tab S11 or 1 lakh on the Tab S11 Ultra. So let's get started. Okay, so let me start this review with the design side of things, and the very first thing that caught my attention here was actually how light it is. At just 470 grams, this is easily among the lightest 11-inch tablets I've ever used. And it's not like Samsung has cut corners on the build quality or battery size either, since the Tab S11 still comes with a tough armor aluminum case and a hefty 8400 mAh battery. Likewise, I can't think of a single brand besides Samsung that gives a proper IP68 dust and water seal on their high-end tablets. Yep, not even Apple's expensive iPad Pros have any form of official IP rating, so the fact that I don't have to worry about accidentally spilling water on my Tab S11 feels like such a luxury. And you know what else is a luxury? A stylus you don't have to pay for, since Samsung ships one inside the box itself. I'll tell you more about Samsung's redesigned S Pen in just a minute, but yeah, the Tab S11 absolutely nails the design experience for me. It feels great to touch, it's even more comfortable to hold, it's equally durable, and I get a stylus for free. What more could I possibly ask for? And the fun does not stop here, because one of the main reasons why I've grown so fond of the Tab S11 is because of how awesome the multimedia experience is on this thing. Its OLED display plus quad speaker combo has been a banger. The color accuracy here is just so good. You get deep inky blacks, bright highlights, all of which has been complemented by rich, detailed audio from its speakers. I can even tune its speakers with different equalizers and audio effects based on the app I'm using. So when I'm listening to some hip-hop tracks on Spotify, I enable bass boost for that extra kick of bass. And whenever I'm binging a show, I've enabled the option to boost dialogue clarity. I was frankly expecting this to be a total gimmick at first, but nope, there's actually a noticeable difference in audio quality if you're listening closely. I've been watching Pluribus these days, great show by the way, totally recommend it. And man, that explosion sequence in episode 3 looked and sounded so freaking good on the Tab S11. And of course, other than watching videos, this display impresses everywhere else too. From sharpness to brightness and smoothness, you name it, this guy's got it. My only two complaints about the display is A, I wish Samsung's anti-reflective coating was not exclusive to the Tab S11 Ultra, and B, we get a slow optical fingerprint reader instead of an ultrasonic one. Otherwise, this would have made an A+ display for me easily. Alright, let's talk about the performance next. And here we get last year's flagship MediaTek's Dimensity 9400 Plus chip inside, and although it clearly fares below the latest Dimensity 9500 in terms of raw power, I seriously doubt anyone will find its performance to be inadequate. From multitasking between a bunch of apps at a time to playing AAA games at their max settings or even emulating old game consoles, the Galaxy Tab S11 hardly broke a sweat at anything in my usage. The only thing that's weird here is that the base model only has 128 gigs of storage. Samsung does give me the option to add up to 2 TB of storage via a microSD card, but for something that costs this much, I think Samsung should have given 256 GB of starting storage. Anyway, moving on to the software, the One UI 8 was a pretty dull upgrade on a smartphone, but on the tablet, it's the exact opposite. So first, Samsung has basically mastered the basics like using split screen with multiple apps or with a floating window, saving a shortcut to launch multiple apps at once, and a taskbar to quickly access all my favorite apps. Not to mention, if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, the Tab S11 will work even more coherently with all of your devices, like being able to continue browsing the web from my phone to my tablet, sharing clipboards, etc. And where the One UI 8 builds on top of all of that is with two things. First, the DeX experience has been redesigned and I actually love it. Now I can just swipe down on any app like this to instantly enable a desktop-like environment whenever I have to work between more than 2 to 3 apps at once. If I tried doing the same thing on the default Android space instead of DeX, look how chaotic it ends up getting. Not only that, but the One UI 8 also lets me create up to 4 workspaces or desktops to organize my workflow better, just like I would on my Mac or on my Windows setup. So I can have one desktop for all of my office work, one for all of my entertainment apps. It's really cool. Of course, this all makes more sense if you've got its keyboard accessory as well, but I should warn you that the Tab S11's keyboard cover no longer has a trackpad. Even its S Pen has suffered a downgrade. Like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, the Tab S11 stylus does not have Bluetooth either, meaning it's a passive stylus that can't handle my gestures to take photos or launch an app or something like that. I don't think this is a big deal on a tablet, and I actually found its hexagonal shape to be more interesting instead, because I grew up writing with pencils that were exactly the same shape, so this one immediately felt more comfortable and grippy to me compared to Samsung's older S Pens. So I was constantly taking notes, doodling something, and then having Samsung's AI turn it into a more digestible artwork and writing into a text box instead of typing with this guy. Okay, so what's left? Yes, the battery life. So the Tab S11 has mostly been my multimedia plus gaming machine, and with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, its 8400 mAh battery has been netting me almost 8 hours of screen on time on average. Not quite on the same level as the M4 iPad Pro I tested last year, but not bad. Whereas it supports 45-watt charging, and using my 65-watt Ugreen PD charger, the Tab S11 went from 5 to 100% in an hour and a half. Alright, that brings me to the end of my review, and guess what? The Tab S11 is easily my favorite Android tablet right now. I've always had to deal with different ifs and buts with mid-range Galaxy tablets, but this is a whole new world. I also love how Samsung has course corrected with its tablet lineup this time, because if you remember, there was no Galaxy Tab S10 last year, just the Tab S10 Plus and the S10 Ultra, which means you literally did not have a choice if all you wanted was a relatively compact tablet that's easy to carry around. But things are super simple now. If you want the biggest, the most ridiculous tablet experience Samsung has to offer, there's the Tab S11 Ultra, whereas the regular Tab S11 perfectly boils down that experience into a more manageable form factor. That being said, both the Tab S11 and the S11 Ultra are still an easy overkill for majority of the people, because if all you want is a decent multimedia device that you can also game on plus get some work done, something like the Xiaomi Pad 7 that costs less than half as much is a much better value. But if you got the money and you want a premium experience, I am sure you are going to love the Galaxy Tab S11. Alright everyone, that was all for our full and quite detailed review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11. What do you think about this tablet? Do let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Saying this, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.